Marital betrayal is on the rise. As a matter of fact, this is one of the most common tools that Satan uses to destroy the institution of marriage. Why does he hate marriage so? Because it is a picture of Christ and the church. So he comes at it with the number one tool he knows could possibly destroy it. Betrayal. Since the pandemic in 2020, we've seen a huge rise in marital betrayal, and 63% of marriages that deal with betrayal end up in divorce. It has invaded the most sacred part of our lives, our marriages. So what do? Well, there are actually two common lies that many believe about betrayal, and we need to dispel those. We need to bust those myths so that we can actually save many marriages. We're going to tackle that on today's broadcast of Beauty Beyond Betrayal. Hey beautiful, welcome to Beauty Beyond Betrayal. Have you discovered your husband's been having an affair? Do you just want the pain to stop and be able to take a deep breath again? Do you find yourself up late at night Googling how to save your marriage, heal from an affair? Do you wake up with the hope that this nightmare would end only to feel crushed and humiliated because your husband acts like the affair was really your fault and now you're left obsessing with where he is and if he's seeing her again? Hey, I'm Lisa. I too was devastated when I discovered my husband was having an affair. I too felt the pain would never end and wished he would just stop the affair and we could restore our marriage. I wanted the weight of the trauma to be lifted so I could breathe again and be able to have someone, anyone help me climb out of the dark, miry pit of despair so I could begin to heal and be confident in me again. But I kept telling myself, he won't stop seeing her. Must have been my fault. And this pain, it'll never go away. Until I found hope and healing in Christ, along with simple techniques that helped me to learn how to recover from the betrayal. In this podcast, you'll discover what betrayal trauma really is, learn simple techniques to heal and recover, and get biblical guidance to help you make the right choices as you heal from the affair so you can be free from the heartbreak and the pain and rise in confidence once again to be the woman God created you to be. So beautiful, grab your favorite latte or a glass of wine, snuggle up on the couch and focus on yourself for a few minutes. Let's dive into what it really means to rise up from the ashes of betrayal and loss into a life that you really desire. Hey beautiful, welcome back to the show. Before we dive in, I have another 5-star review that came in to the broadcast and I would love to share that with you. It is from Sana, one of our beautiful women who listens loyal every single week. She says, phenomenal podcast. Lisa has been a rock. She packs a powerful combo for healing from betrayal trauma. Knowing she has experienced betrayal herself and is giving a platform with faith-based approach can't be beat. After months of counseling and trying to find ways to get unstuck, I found Lisa's podcast. I am so thankful God led me to her. Lisa gives the tools you need that will help you unlock yourself from misery and get unstuck to start the road to healing and recovery. It was the best decision I've ever made in my journey to recovery. Forever thankful for all you do, Sana. Honey, thank you so very, very much for sharing that 5-star review with us. It means so much. And this keeps us in the airwaves for all to hear, all the women, men, and couples who are dealing with the devastation of betrayal. We want to help you heal and get you whole. And so thank you for that 5-star review. Now, let's jump into today's broadcast. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to leave us a 5-star review, go below in the show notes. You can do so. Click on the button below, but also listen. You can actually leave us either a question or that 5-star review verbally by going below where it says Ask Me and leave it right there and I can feature it on the broadcast. I would love to highlight you. Okay, let's dive into today's show. Listen, we're talking about the 2 most common lies that many believe about betrayal. And once again, we know that betrayal has invaded the most sacred part of our life, life, our marriages. Satan uses this tool of betrayal to seek to destroy the institution that God put together because it represents Christ and the church. Betrayal leaves you feeling devastated, crushed, fearful, angry, and overwhelmed. You want your marriage back. I know that. I remember that feeling early on. You want your life back. You feel like it's been stolen from you. You want your spouse back. You feel like someone's invaded and stolen him from you. Your world as you knew it was not your reality. Your reality has actually been altered, and it's been altered greatly. And it's left you now living in a nightmare. Never in your most wildest dreams would you have ever thought this would have happened to you. Discovering his betrayal and then trying to cope with it is a chaotic time. And yes, you wake up to this new reality that you never asked for. Now, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't think, you can't function. And his betrayal haunts you day after day, and night after night. Thoughts of him watching pornography or thoughts of him with her bombard your mind regardless of what you do. Marital betrayal is kind of like quicksand that sucks you in and covers you, sucking the hope, joy, trust, and what can seem like the very life from your soul. You start to have these questions swirl in your mind. Where did I go wrong? What's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? Why did he have a wandering eye? I can't believe that I married a man who would do this to me. Who is this man that I'm now living with? And the rage, the burning inside, and the images of hatred, what you thought you were incapable of even thinking, consume your mind. How do I know? Because beautiful, I had the same things happen to me. I had things fly out of my mouth that I didn't even know I could say. I had thoughts I didn't know I was capable of. Well, you know what? You're human, just like I was. Now you're at a point where you can't trust. He has become a stranger to you. Who is this man? So what do? You've tried everything. You've been nice. You've tried to understand. You've tried to meet his needs, to do what you believe you should have done. You try to recapture the romance. You suggest counseling. You may have even gone to marital counseling. You make personal changes that you hope he will notice. You even beg, plead, rage, and scream. And yes, beautiful, I did all these things. And then you notice that nothing seems to work. And you are depleted, beyond frustration, exhausted, bone weary, and border on hopelessness. Maybe this is the end, you think. Well, I know the picture I just painted is not one that's too pretty. But it's a picture I myself have encountered. For myself and with literally thousands who suffer from marital betrayal. And if you are in this kind of pain, and I mean severe pain and distress, I want you to know that you're certainly not alone. Facing betrayal is more difficult than facing death. And I've heard these words over and over again. It would be easier if he died. And beautiful, I even thought the same thing. I felt it deep within me. I had experienced my mother's death, my grandmother's death, my in-laws' death, my dad's death, and all of that was not as difficult as the betrayal. So why in the world is the discovery of marital betrayal so devastatingly painful? And what can you do to calm your pain and to take back your life so that you can heal and move into a future that is brighter than the darkness you're currently living in? Well, first, you must not believe the two most common lies that are thrown around like candy at a Mardi Gras. Now, here's what the world, and what I mean by the world is the media, your friends, some family members, self-help gurus, influencers, and even those in the professional community suddenly scream at you. You are at fault. What did you do wrong? Didn't you meet his needs? Didn't you give him enough sex? You must have taken him for granted. Did you nag and complain too much? I mean, the majority of counselors, when marital betrayal is discovered, basically convey this. Boy, that was a tongue twister. Basically convey, well, let's take a look at the marriage and see if we can fix the problems there. And then the betrayal, well, it'll kind of take care of itself. Wait a minute. What? Back up, Jack. Did I just hear that right? Listen, that is totally wrong. Totally wrong. Okay? Totally wrong. The first thing that is a miscommon belief is it's your fault. Well, beautiful, hear me loud and clear. It is not your fault. The marriage is not to blame. His choice to have the affair or continue in the sexual addiction has absolutely nothing, and let me say that again, absolutely nothing to do with you or the marriage. Now, I know it's hard for you to emotionally buy into that if you are raw and real, if you are in the triage stage. And what I mean by that is within the first 6 months of discovering his infidelity, his betrayal, his sexual addiction, the affair, whatever it is, right? If you're in those first 6 months, that's hard to hold on to. That's hard to grasp. I understand that. Intellectually, it may make sense to you, but deep within your gut, it feels like something different, doesn't it? It doesn't feel like it. Your gut twists with a sense of shame, guilt. I mean, you can't let go of the invading thoughts of sexual and relational inadequacy. You think you're defective. You think you're to blame. You think it's your fault. Your heart feels the stabbing pain. Tears of sadness and regret flow all the time. Your rage wants to explode in your chest. You not only have a huge dilemma with your cheating husband, you have to fight conventional thinking and lame advice, which points the finger of responsibility at you. Well, many who reach out to me and become clients finally break free from that untruth. They begin to realize the responsibility of the betrayal lies solely on their unfaithful spouse. That relief emerges as it sinks deeply into the crevices of their pain, that they are not at fault. And beautiful, the same can happen for you. It is not your fault. Now listen, I've received countless emails thanking me for the shift in their feelings. I hear things like, oh wow, Lisa, it really isn't my fault. I'm really not to blame. This really is his burden. This really is his responsibility. Beautiful, if this is you, it's not your fault. Stop believing the lie that society and the enemy of your soul, Satan, tries to destroy you with. Remember, you did not consent to his betrayal. Hear me again. You did not consent to his betrayal. You didn't consent to his addiction. You didn't consent to the affair, be it emotional or sexual. You had no part in it. This means he made his own decision to betray you. That's on him. So how do you begin to leave this behind so you can heal and move forward? Well, the first step is acknowledging you've been betrayed, accepting that fact, and recognizing it had nothing to do with you. You are enough through Christ Jesus. Christ says this is not your burden to bear. This responsibility is solely on your husband. Your husband's choice to sin against God through adultery, and yes, pornography and or an affair is adultery in God's eyes. Your husband's choice to step into the sin of adultery is on him. It has no bearing on you. That is the first step to healing from this tragedy, this traumatic event called betrayal. But how do you really step into this? Well, beautiful, I am actually sharing the exact roadmap to healing in my upcoming online workshop, Beauty Beyond Betrayal, a roadmap to healing God's way. When is it? It's going to be Wednesday, September the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And how much does it cost? Beautiful, it's free. Yes, it is my gift to you. I want to share with you the roadmap that God gave me as I was healing from my own betrayal, from my husband's infidelity, and how God led me to now create that same roadmap. And I've led hundreds of women through it for their healing as well. And I want to share that roadmap with you. You have a chance, beautiful, to stop being stuck in the devastation of his betrayal, to finally say goodbye to the triggers, ruminating thoughts, and the self-doubt. This is your moment, beautiful, and you can register today. Now listen, spots are limited, so don't delay. Again, it is Wednesday, September 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Spots are limited and the cost is free. How can you register? Go below in the show notes where it says workshop. Click on that link, grab your spot right now, and you can get in. And I can't wait to see you in the workshop. And here's the bonus. It is a live workshop. We're going to be together on Zoom. There's going to be a community of women like-minded just like you who are going through the same things. We're going to come together. I'm going to share with you my exact roadmap to how to heal from the betrayal. And then there's going to be a bonus live Q&A with me at the end of the workshop. Don't miss it. Grab your spot today. Click on workshop below in the show notes. And beautiful, I can't wait to see you there. And P.S. I know you're probably wondering about the second common lie that we need to dispel. Well, beautiful, that's in part 2. So stay tuned for Friday's episode. I'll see you then. God bless. Thanks for stopping by today and spending a little while with me. I hope you enjoyed today's show and found hope, healing, and encouragement. Please remember to subscribe to my podcast and leave a review. You can even screenshot this episode and share it on IG or Facebook stories. This is how we get the message of hope and healing out to all women who are in the midst of betrayal and loss. If you're ready to move out of the devastation of betrayal and take the next step in your healing, make sure to reach out to me and schedule your breakthrough coaching call today. Until next time, love God, live your life passionately, and always choose joy in the midst of any circumstance that you may face. Cheers to you, beautiful.